So what's your name and where are you from?
Joshua Highway, Niagara Falls, New York.
Okay. So where are we right now?
We're on Willow in the 1100 block.
And what's so special about that?
Well, this is where my aunt's body was found 3 years ago.
When you say body was found, what do you mean by that?
Her torso was there. Her head was cut off, her arms were cut off, and her feet were cut off. Her body, the rest of her body was attached.
You said they found her like what? Was she in the street?
In the abandoned building next to us. We can't film for liability issues. In the basement, stuffed in a garbage bag.
Really? Is that the first time something like that's ever happened around here?
No, there's 2 incidents similar to my cousin that was murdered, Loretta Gates. She was chopped up, but scattered through Niagara Falls and found at multiple locations through the falls.
So, did they ever catch the person who did it, or?
They say they are almost certain they might have somebody. They have to go through some phone records. What I believe that they know who did it, and that they don't want to push the luck.
Do they have a motive why?
Not that we know of. They won't tell us any information.
So, I mean, that's something pretty crazy to happen here, and especially like around here. Did you know the lady that was found here?
That was my aunt.
Your aunt?
Yep.
And the other lady was?
My cousin.
Your cousin. Okay.
She was my aunt through marriage. She married my uncle.
Yeah. What was your emotions like when you found out?
I was at work.
You were at work?
I didn't know what was going on. I went to work that day and I seen it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And so after work I responded over, and then that's when we found out who it was. And that same night we did a candlelight service next door to this house that's behind me. And I would say over 100-something people showed up. And then we hold another candlelight service at Hyde Park for both of them at the because that's where Loretta's body was found. It was in the Hyde Park Creek.
So, do you think there's a potential for something like that to happen again?
I believe so.
Yeah?
I mean, if he does it twice, why not can he do it a third time?
Yeah.
It's a little weird that they haven't done nothing yet and they haven't caught him yet.
Yeah.
Or her. Or them. You don't know. You don't know who it is.
Man, that's pretty heavy. Does it make you nervous?
Do we have a serial killer in the city? I believe so.
You think we do?
I believe it. You figure he struck and then he waited 3 years after Loretta was dead. I mean, after Loretta was dead, and then he struck again.
Yeah.
Now it's going on almost 5 years, 4 or 5 years. So what does it say he's not going to strike again?
Yeah.
So every 3 years, or every 4 years, he's going to strike. You know, it might be somebody else.
Yeah. So if you could describe Niagara Falls to somebody that's never been here, how would you describe it?
Don't go past 4th Street.
Yeah?
Don't go past the casino.
No?
It's run down. I drive an Uber. I take people from the mall and bring them,
You drive Uber?
Yeah, bring them through the city. And they're like, what is this shit?
Is that what they say?
Yeah. And people are like, oh, I want to live here. I'm like, yeah, let me show you a little something. I take them to the ghetto, and they're like, no, we don't want to live here no more.
So do you find that when people come from out of town that
they just stay downtown?
Do they have a general idea of what the city's like, you find, before they get here, or are they surprised when they get here?
Surprised.
They're surprised?
They believe, it's seventh wonder of the world. We're not even a seventh wonder in the world anymore.
Yeah.
They believe, oh, I'm going to go on vacation and have a good time.
So what do you think of when you think of Niagara Falls?
You just think of like the actual Niagara Falls itself, like the stereotype. You don't think there's any town or...
What's the stereotype?
That it's just a falls in the middle of some green lovely land.
So it's just like a waterfall that you think of, like you think of just like in the middle of like green lovely.
Nowhere almost, yeah.
Really?
Well, you know what separates you in America, but you still know it's like, you just picture it like.
You think it? So usually it's like when you think of it, it's like green on both sides, just like forest and trees and birds and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's not the case. I mean, a couple years ago we had the Chinese girl that came on vacation. They got raped.
Oh, geez.
A couple years ago, they caught the guy. He's charged.
Yeah.
People got mugged. People get mugged. People get the panhandlers downtown. I mean, any city you go to, you're going to get that.
Yeah.
But the fact is that when you tell people don't go past the casino, their mind starts thinking, why not?
Yeah.
and so it's tough.
Yeah. If you could fix Niagara Falls, what would you do?
Run for mayor.
Run for mayor, and what would your platform be?
To clean up the streets, that's my first priority.
Yeah.
That would be 100% is
You mean like dirt and
drug dealers, drug addicts, prostitutes. You know, you put in multi-million-dollar cameras on 19th Street, they don't even work. What's that going to solve? So waste of money. Fire the police chief, bring your own guy in, and take care of business.
So you're not happy with the way the police are handling stuff in the falls here?
I love them. I support them, but I think they can handle things a little different.
Yeah.
Same thing with politics. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Starts at City Hall and works his way out.
Yeah.
New members on the council, all whole new ball game.
Yeah.
Fire everybody.
Do you feel that the city has a positive or a negative view towards law enforcement?
Me or the city, as a citizen?
I guess just in general, like the atmosphere of the city.
I believe the citizens don't trust the police department.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hit or miss. I believe that they don't trust 100%.
What do you think is the biggest reason why Niagara Falls has violence and crime and issues like that?
We don't have enough police.
Not enough police?
Not enough police on the streets.
How many police does the city have?
I think 200 maybe?
Total?
Yes. That's not counting. I mean, the patrol.
Yeah.
That's not counting.
How many patrol usually during a day? Like,
2 in Lakeside all the time.
And what about downtown?
I'm gonna say between 8 and 10 cars maybe.
Yeah.
But they only cover so much area.
Yeah.
Response time is down.
What's the future of the city? Where do you see the city going in the next 10, 20 years?
Not being a city no more.
Yeah. What about the condition itself?
I would see. I'd say give it 5 years, and it's going to be run down.
Even more so?
Oh yeah, 100%. Due to the fact is we don't have nobody that cares.
Yeah.
We need people that care.
Yeah.
Like me, like you.
Yeah.
Other people that want to take the city back, basically, from the drug dealers and prostitutes and all that other stuff.
I mean, you got this dynamic where you got street stuff. You have a possible serial killer, and that's pretty intense for a city that only has about 49,000 people. You know what I mean?
Almost 2,000 more would be considered as a town.
As a town.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's not even the size of a city anymore. It's the size of a town.
Right.
And it's interesting to me that a lot of people outside the area don't know anything about it. Why do you think that is? That people from outside the area don't know about the conditions of this side of the falls?
They don't want them to know.
Yeah.
The city doesn't want them to know. They want to keep the tourism keep coming. That's our revenue. You know what I mean? That's our money each year. Keep them coming. Well, that's when we come to play. We report the crime on Facebook and let the world know what's going on in the city, pretty much.
So, what is the Niagara Falls Angels? Unless you want to talk about it or don't want to talk about that, it's up to you.
We started off as an organization basically to take back the streets.
Okay.
Walking with the police, bulletproof vest. You probably have seen us. We did a documentary from the film crew from Quebec, Canada about it. Then we went into a different approach now. Now we're more of reporting the crime due to pictures, people calling us on the phone, giving us tips, and then we report to the police.
What made you start this?
The first or the second?
The first one.
After my cousin was murdered, I figured that the community seen something or knows something, and they were scared to say something.
Yeah.
And that's when we came into play to take that trouble away, where they can call us and we can be the snitch or be the person that relays that message, pretty much.
Yeah. Are you afraid of people coming after you because you're talking to the police?
I'm still standing. I'm still here.
Threatened you?
Not yet.
No.
But I believe if the case happened, if I end up dying, well, at least I know and I died doing something that I loved to make my community better for our kids.
Yeah. Do you feel safer doing the way you do now versus just taking photos and just kind of reporting it versus actually getting involved yourself?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Have you ever seen, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen actually living out here?
Photograph-wise or the other one?
Like, where'd you grow up specifically?
17th and Pierce.
You grew up there.
Yep.
Did you ever see anything crazy out there growing up?
Drugs, fires.
Any shootings or stabbing?
I have never seen a shooting over that area until maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
It was safer back then.
Yeah.
You know, you could walk down Pierce Avenue at 3 in the morning. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah.
Now you walk down Pierce at 3 in the morning, you got to think about somebody jumping you or robbing you. It's a lot scarier now than it was when we were growing up.
Yeah.
It was 10 times better back then. But there was always issues, you know what I mean? My scariest thing I ever seen was a dead body in the middle of the road and the fire department working on him.
What was that from?
Shooting.
When was this?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that with the Roderick Haslip shooting? Was that the one that was over near like Center Avenue?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, and you saw them working on him?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's the scariest thing.
Yeah.
And now that, you know, I'm going to my other direction now, career change now, I'm an EMT, so that's what I want to do. I want to save lives, and I can't save them all, but I can try.
Yeah.
So that's what I do now, you know, full-time EMT, and I love it.
That's pretty cool. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the city or about the topic or anything you can think of?
No, I mean, we did pretty much covered a lot. Anything from you?
I can't think of anything right now.
All right.